Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good very early morning, wherever you're calling in from. Thank you very much for attending our RSS workshop on benchmarking tools for evaluating robotic assembly of small parts. I'm very excited that we're able to hold this workshop in lieu of current events, and I think we have a nice program put together to talk about some of the relevant topics for benchmarking, and we're going to get into it very shortly. So I wanted to make sure everyone knows our organizers. Myself, I'm Adam Norton from the University of Massachusetts Lowell, as well as Holly Yanko from the University of Massachusetts Lowell, which I believe she is currently on.
Hello, I'm here.
Joe Falco from the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Joe, you want to say hello? And Kenny Kimball from National Institute of Standards and Technology.
Hello.
So hey Joe. So this workshop has been put together by the four of us as a means to increase some of the awareness of different types of benchmarking tools that exist for evaluating robotic capabilities, leaning more towards those related to assembly or other manufacturing tasks. And ultimately, what we want to do is increase the use of these types of benchmarking tools, test methods, performance artifacts, and metrics to increase some of the ability to compare test results across different research spaces, and really just bring together any researchers who are interested in these different capabilities for robots. And our program for the workshop is going to reflect that. We're going to be covering a couple different robotic solutions and research that use the NIST Assembly Task Board as part of their research efforts, as well as other evaluation efforts and related benchmarking in the same domain. But we want to kind of start to build a user community around this type of work. And hopefully this is the first in a series of workshops where we're bringing more awareness to this area and spurring some continued development. As a quick look at our agenda, which I'll be popping back up on screen in between the other talks and during break sessions. It's a 4-hour program. So we're kind of sticking to our same half-day program that we had if we were in person or if we were virtually. We will start our day with invited talks, including some of the organizers, take a 15-minute break and transition to our submitted talks from 3 extended abstracts that will be giving presentations on their work, followed by another break, 2 more invited talks, and a discussion period at the end where we can talk about next steps, either for specific assembly benchmarks like the ones that we're going to talk about today, or other areas that we can put some more effort into to try to increase the use of these tools throughout the field. Now, all talks today are going to be recorded, and we're going to host them on our a publicly facing Google Drive folder that's available at the tiny URL on the screen. It's also linked from the workshop website, and also contained in that folder, at least by over the next couple of days, we will have gathered the presentation files, submitted paper files, and videos of the recorded talks, which will all be available there. Throughout the workshop, you can post questions during people's presentations using the Zoom chat or the feed loop chat. We'll do our best to monitor both of those. Also in Zoom, there is a raise hand function. Although when I'm looking at my available icons, I don't necessarily see raise hand, but I do see some other icons for kind of making it known that you maybe have a question you want to ask. And what we'll try to do is save our questions for the designated 5-minute question and answer period after each talk. And we will call on you if you have a question that you want to ask, or read out the questions as they come through in the chat. And we'll do our best to do those in the order that they're received and get to as many of them as we can. But we'll also reserve our 15-minute break periods for any further discussion that wants to be had. So before we turn this over to our first invited talk, do any of my other conference workshop organizers have any other opening remarks they want to make?
Well, thank you.
All right. Oh yeah, and maybe kind of just a sneak preview into what we will be talking a little bit about towards kind of the end. Let's see. There is a new standards activity. Again, we'll talk about this a bit more towards the end of the workshop, that is related to standardizing test methods and metrics for robotic manipulators. And one of our organizers, Joe Falco, is leading that. And there's also a special issue upcoming on robotic grasping and manipulation challenges in progress. So keep that in mind as we're going through today's program. If there are any topics you think could be expanded into papers or other types of activities you'd like to participate